Okay, so there's this thing called OpenClaw, and you've probably seen it everywhere lately. It's a free, open source project that's just exploded. Seriously, a lot of people are saying it's the biggest deal since ChatGPT, and it really feels like we're looking at the very beginning of a whole new chapter for AI.
And listen, this is the key thing you've got to understand. This isn't just another chatbot, right? We're not talking about a slightly better way to get answers to your questions. No, this is a whole new category of AI. People are calling it a digital operator or a true AI agent. The whole point is that it's designed to do things, not just talk about them.
So what is this thing really? Well, at its heart, OpenClaw is a free, open-source AI assistant. But here's the twist. You run it yourself. You host it on your own hardware, maybe an old computer you've got lying around, a dedicated Mac Mini, or even a server in the cloud. Just imagine having your own 24/7 employee that lives right there on your machine, working only for you.
And that right there is the huge difference. You know how chatbots are kind of stuck in a little box on a website? OpenClaw is the complete opposite. It has full access to the computer it's on. I mean, it can write code, it can make new files, it can delete old ones, it can run commands. It can take actual, real action in your digital world for you.
So, how does it do all this incredible stuff? What's the secret sauce? Well, it really comes down to three main ideas. Three, let's call them superpowers, that make this such a game changer. Let's dive into each one.
Okay, first up, full system access. This is the big one, because it's running locally on your machine. It's not just a search engine or a knowledge base. It's an operator. It can actually control things. This is its core superpower, and it's what flips the switch from an AI that just says stuff to an agent that actually does stuff.
Number 2 is persistent memory. Think about it. Every single chat, every project you work on, every little preference you mention, it remembers it all. And that means it learns. It evolves from this generic out-of-the-box tool into a super personalized assistant that just keeps getting better and more tuned in to how you work.
And that brings us to the third, and maybe the most mind-bending part. It's proactive workflow. See, you can actually tell it to go and act on its own. It won't just sit there waiting for your next command. It can spot opportunities and just go for it, taking the initiative. It can literally be working for you while you're asleep. It stops being just a tool and starts becoming a true partner.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But this is where things get really wild. Let's look at some of the absolutely mind-blowing, real-world examples of what the first people to use this are already doing. People are taking automation to a whole new hyper-personal level. I mean, check this out. One person has their agent order them a very specific bagel for delivery like the second they wake up. Another person's agent tried to book a table online, couldn't do it, so it used a voice API to actually call the restaurant and make a reservation with a human. And get this, one user set their bot on buying a car. It did the research, it emailed dealerships, and it negotiated a deal that saved the guy over $4,000. Insane.
And for developers, wow, it's like having the ultimate coding buddy. There's this now famous story where an agent saw a post on X, Twitter, about $1 million prize for building a new software feature. And without anyone even asking it to, it just built it. It designed, coded, and tested the whole feature overnight for its owner's company. I mean, that's what we mean by agency.
All right, so you've seen what it is, you've seen the crazy stuff it can do. Now you're probably wondering, how do I get one? So let's get practical. Let me walk you through the high-level steps to get your own agent up and running. First things first, your agent needs a home. You've got a few options. You could just use an old computer, but honestly, that comes with some security risks we'll talk about later. A much safer and pretty popular option is a dedicated Mac Mini. That way it's in its own little isolated sandbox. Or if you're a bit more on the technical side, you can spin up a cheap cloud server for like $5 or $10 a month. That gives you a ton of flexibility. Okay, so the actual installation is basically a 5-step deal. First, you need an API key from somewhere like Anthropic or OpenAI. Think of this as the brain for your agent. Next, you literally just paste one line of code into your computer's terminal to kick off the install. After that, it's just a matter of following the prompts. You'll add your key, link it to a messaging app like Telegram so you have a way to talk to it, and then you do a final pairing. Look, it's definitely more involved than just signing up for a website, but if you're a power user, it's totally manageable. Okay, so we've spent a lot of time talking about the amazing power of this thing, but we have to have a serious talk now, because with all that power comes some pretty big risks. We need to talk about the peril, and we need to talk about the price. Because let's be crystal clear, this is not some polished, safe, consumer-ready product.
And check out this number, it's just staggering. Security researchers just found over 900 OpenClaw servers that were set up wrong and were just sitting there wide open on the public internet.
And let me be super clear here. This isn't some what-if scenario. This is real. These exposed servers were actively leaking everything. Their API keys, months and months of private, sensitive chat logs, just out there for anyone to grab. This is a serious, real-world danger if you don't lock your stuff down.
You know who gives the best warning? The creator himself, Peter Steinberger. He calls it, and I'm quoting here, an unfinished hobby project with sharp edges. I think that perfectly sums it up. When you use this, you need to know you're playing with experimental tech. And yeah, it has sharp edges.
So this part is non-negotiable. You absolutely must follow these security best practices. Seriously, these are not optional suggestions. First, run the agent in a sandbox on its own dedicated machine. Second, create brand new, totally separate accounts for it to use, like a new Gmail, a new calendar, everything. And this one, I really can't say this enough, never, and I mean never, connect this thing to your password manager.
Now, beyond the security risks, there's the cost. The software itself is free, yeah? But the API calls that power its brain, those are not free. And the costs can get out of control like shockingly fast. Some heavy users have reported getting bills for $80, $100, even over $300 a day.
So here's the pro tip for keeping those costs in check. You got to use the right tool for the right job. Think of it like this. You have a brains model and a muscles model. For the brains, the big, complex, strategic thinking, you use a powerful, expensive model like Claude Opus. Its ability to reason is top-notch, but it's pricey. Then for all the simple, repetitive grunt work, the muscles, you tell it to switch to a cheaper, faster model like Haiku. These little guys are super efficient for high-volume, simple tasks, and they'll save you a ton of money. It's all about managing your resources smart.
Look, there's no denying it. OpenClaw gives us this incredible peek into a future where everyone has their own personalized AI team working for them. It feels like the future is here, because it kind of is. But it's the beta version of that future, right? It's an early experimental release that demands a ton of respect, caution, and a whole lot of responsibility from anyone who's playing with it right now. So the real question isn't, is this stuff powerful? We know it is. The question is, are we ready to handle it?